Afternoon, we've got another Twilight Soul 90-minute game with a compatriot I have played in real life, but not online before. This is our first. So I'm USA, going first. I think that's the first time I've been USA before USSR. Okay, so I'm USSR, not USA. Dodoy. Okay, in that case, I won't open Marshall Plan, will I? I'll get rid of CIA first, obviously. Uh, 441. Yeah, fine. Let's plug in our hand. We've got Decol, which is great, and we will wait until after CIA has dropped to make best use of it. We've got De Gaulle, we've got Marshall, which is largely unplayable. I can't coup Italy with it either. Cambridge 5. Cambridge 5 looks like the headline. "442, Fidel." So what's my 8th card? EEU. Yeah. Alright, so that's my hand. Cambridge 5 is the best of the bunch. So let's run that. And I get purged. So we'll put one into France. So, under purge, everything is gross. We do at least have De Gaulle, which we can event as well. But let's start with a coup on Italy. A 2-op coup on Italy will cost us... We need to roll a 6. But we can't use Marshall Plan. Otherwise, the China card is a 5 or a 6. So if we put 1 in Italy and then coup with the China card, a 5 or a 6 again, but at least we get control. And we've got De Gaulle. So let's do that. Hail Mary. Not a great start. Well, we'll keep the pressure on as long as we can. But it's not going to last long. Okay, so we're going to walk into the trap of being Truman. But if he happens to be miraculously ops light, we can at least get over the top with Marshall Plan. But I expect to see Truman now. Oh, amazing. Alright, well, we'll keep the pressure on. So yes, obviously both of us ops light. Spending Purge was a bold headline choice, really, if that was... Although they had another 4-op card, didn't they? That's... Oh, man. That's so gross, because only... there goes your ball game. We'll space Marshall Plan. And we don't even get that off to space. So Europe scoring or drop for domination. Not big enough. But will they coup, or will they keep DEFCON at 4? One into Malaysia seems sensible here. Well, I ran out of gas there, thanks to the headline. Italy is at least relatively plucky. One into Malaysia followed by a coup isn't unreasonable, and you know they may get defectors 50-50. But not a great start. The other option is one back into Iran to make sure Middle East scoring's juicy. One into Iran followed by one into Lebanon, also viable. But I think I'd expect to see Malaysia or Iran here. So yeah, Fruitstrike was over in the UK last September, so we met up with Simon, who was organising the Worlds that's been postponed. So we each played a game against Fruitstrike and drank an awful lot of alcohol. It was a good evening. Well, good day. Pretty much burned the entire day. And Fruitstrike was going to be coming over for the Worlds, which have been postponed. Let's see whether or not they go in the autumn, or if we catch for next year. So Malaysia, sensible. NASA followed by a coup, one assumes. Yeah, let's hope it whiffs. It does. Bonus. So we're hoping to see defectors in our hand, which we do not see. So given we have D-Star, we could gamble on Decol. The other option is Arab-Israeli war. If it gets defected, no big deal. And we can still decol into Thailand and give them the chance to coup. 50-50. Nah, decol's too good to risk being defected. Oh, okay, well that's a bonus for me actually, in a way. Yes, it gets U3 VP, and the war misses. Do I have 4 ops to spare anywhere? Oof, nasty. Let's use D-Star to get into Thailand. We don't need to use Decol though. Oh, you can use the China card, which is a bummer. But let's force the use of the China card. I'm not happy using D-Star to move to Thailand, but I'll take it. We weren't going to space this turn either. Got ops to use. No, not Lao. So We break Thailand briefly. And we also take Indonesia. This is unpleasant so far, but at least we got the China card back. Unless they've got Indo-Pakistani War, at least getting the Milots, but I've absolutely given up on France. We'll keep pressure up in the Middle East. But yeah, I'm not feeling utterly delighted about this game so far. But it is what it is. Well, that's a bonus, in a way. We will walk into the trap set with Asia scoring gone. See if we can withstand a 50-50 if it comes up. If we do, or if it doesn't drop, we then use Romanian abdication to take Afghanistan. Oh, that's lucky. We'll keep the pressure up in the Middle East as well. We haven't seen socialist governments yet, so there's still an outside chance we can mess with Italy. Oh, bonus! I feel like Fruitstrike's misplayed this turn a little, but has enough of a score buffer that it doesn't actually matter. So we'll tap Thailand because we want to draw attention away from Italy as much as anything. Because we're hoping to get one off with socialist governments. US, Japan, NATO... Captured Nazis still not out. Did Formosa go? I think I saw Formosa go. Yeah, they used Formosa. I just didn't track it properly, and then the rest have not been seen. So there should be 9 in the draw pile, 3 in hand, 3, 5, 8, 12. Yeah, fine. Okay, yeah, overprotect Thailand. And 1 to splash. Ooh, Colombia. Nice. Fewer duck and cover, maybe? I did not get socialist governments. That is a bummer. So, I got captured Nazi. They got Indo-Pakistani, which is not great for me. But I did get NATO, which hasn't triggered yet. And I got Marshall Plan back. So they got US, Japan... and defectors, and they know I know defectors, yada yada. They got Warsaw Pact, Vietnam revolts went. They've got Korean, and I've got Suez and blockade. And in the reshuffle, I got Marshall Fidel 5. Alright, so, Capture Nazis is the safest headline because it may yet still be defected. Because we know they can discard Warsaw or socialist governments to blockade. So we'll headline Captured Nazi. Reason being, if it's defected, we don't end up distraught. Purged again. So We'll take the coup on Iran because if we do successfully flip it, yes, that makes the Indo-Pakistani war less attractive. Alright, so that's good, because that does make Indo-Pakistani war less feasible. We'll probably be spacing Marshall Plan again, because we're still on the cusp there.
Okay.
So if they walk into Venezuela, we take Brazil. And we know they've got Indo-Pakistani war and are going to get Milops anyway, so we can also coup Cameroon in due course. We probably want to be eventing Fidel. I'll probably hold blockade, given they've got, of the 6 cards I know they have, they've got US, Japan, Socialist Governments, and Warsaw Pact. Okay, yeah. So we straight take. Yeah, obviously add 5. Warsaw's gone. So we'll use Comic-Con to take Brazil. And then if needs be, we start a coup war on... 5 cards, yeah. We start a coup war on Colombia, potentially. Three, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Hold 5-year plan for a nasty scoring card if possible. May use the China card to take South Korea, potentially. It'll be interesting to see if they event Korean War and hope for the best. So, Europe is bad, unequivocally, and not getting socialist governments is doubly bad. I still don't think it's bad enough to event Marshall Plan for the Alps. It's just going to take a brush war in Italy to make a difference. Let's see where Defectors goes. Oh, it takes Korea. Bold. So we will put one in India. Yeah, one in India, which they may Indo-Pakistani war on. But now we can use the China card to make India a 6 if they don't move straight into Burma. We're hoping Formosa doesn't come back in the reshuffle as well. If they go into Pakistani war now and win, the China card still claims it. If they push Burma, pushing Burma is better. If they take 2 into Burma, I then have to finish taking India, and then it's a 1 in 3 flip for total control. So waiting a turn is not bad. Oof, nasty. We will get a coup off on Colombia to threaten the realignment. Oh, for goodness sake. Well, we're not going to be threatening a realignment like that, are we? Alright. Assuming I don't get dominated in Asia, the early war didn't go as badly as it could have, considering I've been purged twice. Okay, discretion being the better part of valor. And they get away. We will space Marshall Plan in response. And we get away. I think AR6 we're just going to straight event Fidel if they don't move into Burma. If they move into... well, I mean, I suppose another option rather than spacing was to use the China cards straight up, wasn't it? Missed a trick. If they move into Burma now, I've left myself unpleasantly poised in Asia. Got too excited about spacing. Tempo, tempo. Nice defectors being gone though. Knowing it's a straight headline battle. Okay, they've gone for it. Miss, miss, miss. Miss. Ooh, right. We're going to use 5-year plan. Oh, no, because that ditches Fidel. We'll use the China card. And hope we don't see Yasuri immediately. I'm not happy about using the China card per se. But I'm also less happy ditching Fidel when it's the only access I'm likely to get. I mean, Liberation Theology may yet come up. I don't know. Right, US-Japan Socialist governments are their last two cards. SOCGov will be held, so US-Japan might be used just to take Japan and put an op somewhere else. One in Panama, one in Costa Rica. If he wants to be aggressive, he could tap North Korea and put one in Japan to try and push for domination. Although Formosa will still do it as well. I'm at least up to 7 in country count. So yeah, going into mid-war, it's not as shaky as it was at the start of the... Although I could be Voice of America out of South America and Africa in a heartbeat. So it's unstable. The purge has done enough that I've not been able to develop my position as much as I would have hoped to. What we will hope to do is hope to 5-year plan away something. Yeah, bold. I like it. I think that's a good aggressive move. So, Southeast Asia is only 1. Cambridge 5 is good as long as I don't get missile envied. That's a reason to use ABM treaty first. And that's a good enough reason just to go for it and not talk anymore. The coup on Thailand, obviously. USEA. OAS is gross. That's my hold card. Or I 5-year plan it and then repair. AFP I'll try and get away early for 2 VP. And NORAD will probably go to space. Yeah. Yeah, fine. Understandable. Oh, okay. So we will offer the coup in order to shore up Asia. Oh. No. China card. With Southeast Asia scoring, that's not a shabby option, because that now makes Southeast Asia scoring a lot more playable. So I'd expect to see a coup here on Brazil or Angola. We might event Cambridge 5 to get a sense of what they might get up to. And yes, we could 5-year plan OAS in order to maximize our leverage there. Yeah, NORAD's got to go to space because there's just too much influence in too many areas that can do proper damage. I want to be able to put a pip into South Korea at some point as well. North Korea, because obviously the China card can really pump and dump in there. So I think the coup on Angola or Brazil will dictate what scoring cards they're holding. Because we only know they're holding holding socialist governments. That's the only card we're aware of. The problem is if I'm spacing right, I don't have enough ops to do stuff in Latin America and just event OAS for the one op. Although I'd really like to hold 5-year plan to ditch Europe scoring. Although if I get Fidel off, then actually there's not so many scoring cards I want to ditch with 5-year plan right now. So we'll see what comes off here. Ops. Probably is holding UN intervention. What do we think? The other option is to go like that and threaten our own realignment in due course. Now we're not eventing the Cambridge 5. That. Yeah, let's do that. Let's be bold. Although I expect a UN intervention now. And if they get the coup off on Colombia, we move into Uruguay and Argentina. There it is. And with OPEC. Yep, fine. We will overprotect Uruguay for now. So we need to put that pip in North Korea. We could event NORAD, since it's going to cost them 2 ops to move into Canada. Although it still leaves us 5-year planning OAS. We're running out of tempo in a way. There's too much to do. Play Southeast Asia scoring, event Fidel, yada yada yada. So it's not great. It is not ideal. Not happy. Still hoping for brush war. Italy's still very, very unprotected. If I'd had Europe scoring, I would have used ABM to break it and flip it, but I had my sights set on Thailand because of Southeast Asia scoring. Decol goes off to space. That gives me a breather. We will space NORAD before they... they've not got one small step, so I don't need to... I get one shot, don't I? So we'll drop Southeast Asia scoring. Event Fidel, Space NORAD, 5-year plan OAS to try and repair some damage. Although I of course have to play 2 into Argentina before 5-year planning away OAS. Sorry about that. Every phone is ringing. You're in demand.
No, it dropped. Hello.
So.
Right.
Yeah, I still only know they're holding socialist governments.
That's true. No.
The upshot of being tapped in Brazil is it now protects me against Voice of America.
It's not cholera. You're not going to poop yourself.
Ooh, snaz. Fine.
It's probably because everyone's probably in the house.
I'll space NORAD now.
They're not at work. They're all in the house.
Ugh.
Eating all their meals at home.
So that will put a pin in Asia scoring. Alright then.
The thing that gets me is like all the flowers and the Easter gone. Not realistically, how many people bake normally? And baking bread, you do have to understand really what you're doing. Yeah. And you sort of think there's bread in the stores. If you're the kind of person that doesn't...
So event put out, we 5-year plan.
Yeah.
OAS.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's really weird because, like, I normally bake every week. I tend to go to.
So, I might use one of the 3 5-year plan ops not in Latin America, but to cover North Korea. Because what we don't want is North Korea to be flipped. And for us to get dominated in Asia, although that's it's still unlikely, isn't it? I may be being overly paranoid. But it just takes an Asuri to muller me.
Yeah.
But I think AR6 event Fidel, AR7 5-year plan, 2 into Argentina. And 1 into North Korea.
Well, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Although inventing shuttle dip's weird there, unless they're holding Asia's scoring, and we'll now go Japan. I don't know. Okay. I'm not going to second guess anymore because I don't know what I'm talking about. So one of the risks of OAS, I guess, is one in Nicaragua, one in Haiti, and realign me out of Cuba. So I might put one in Nicaragua, as well as 2 in Argentina. And then if they put 2 in Brazil, they put 2 in Brazil. You know, inshallah, to some extent. Tough game. The scoreline does not reflect the difficulty that this game has been played with. So once we 5-year plan OS, what is bound to happen is that I'll get Europe scoring in the reshuffle and no brush war. But that is the way the cookie may crumble. So Fruitstrike has got Socialist Government's AN and AN other card. May just event and repair Socialist Governments if wants to hold the China card. Because of that, there's a chance the China card may drop to thrash North Korea. Which brings me back to doing 2 Argentina, 1 North Korea.
Yeah, just want some. Yeah.
Tough. Lots to cogitate. Or 1 Argentina, 1 Nicaragua, 1 North Korea.
No, I mean, it's quite funny because we've established that Aisha doesn't like walking as far if there's just one of us. So initially, we did not like walk in the walk in the evening, so we both had our 1 piece of exercise, but she could 2 walks. And she'd just dig her heels in and be like, no, I want to go home now. But if we go out together just for 1 walk, she'll go much further. It's really weird. I don't know what, I think she just thinks perhaps we're, you know, one of us is having fun without her. She doesn't want that happening, so.
Still need to see what the other card is. Oh, it's Salt. Ooh, Salt ABM.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. Sorry, the phone is very crackly.
Now that DEFCON is high, we'll just do that. So Salt's gone, ABM back in at hand.
Yes.
So what are we hoping for? If we get Brush War in the reshuffle, we can target Italy, forcing ABM to play into Portugal and Greece, and then allowing us to get the coup. That's about as good as it gets.
Oh, is it good?
Oh well, we'll see.
Yeah.
So I expect to see 2 Brazil, or 2 Argentina, or 2 Chile, or 1 Nicaragua, 1 Haiti. 2 Brazil seems viable, but then we'd have to use the China card or ABM to make the most of it. Socialist Governments is quite the millstone in that hand, isn't it? Well, may just be risk averse to invent and repair socialist governments.
Yeah.
One in each, split the difference. Goes for the coup on Thailand. Yep. Doesn't quite get there. That's good for me.
Very clever. Uh-huh.
We'll have another go though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Was that the one it was it a young adult originally? I can't remember. Yeah. Yeah.
So, we expect to see ABM. Lone gunman.
Yeah.
Africa scoring. Junta. Liberation theology.
Exactly.
How I learned. Colonial rear guards.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Allende. Ask not. Che. So,
Ah, yes.
one option if they headline
Yeah. Yeah.
if they headline ABM is to then use How I Learned to set DEFCON and coup straight back. If I set DEFCON to 5, I can coup on Italy. Then we're just going to start a crazy ass coup war. What do we think? They'll just use ABM to take Thailand.
Okay, maybe some that.
Let's use How I Learned and create world peace,
Ah. Oh, yeah. Yes.
which I'm then going to put a pin in. Ooh, ouch. So DEFCON drops to 2 instead. Do we keep DEFCON high?
No problem. Okay.
Coup 4, out coup 3, I get a coup. So we know they've got ABM. Gross. No, we'll drop DEFCON to 2. Ditch colonial rear guards. Fail, of course. So next in the chat goes Ask Not. And Asia is potentially lost. That is not good. Ooh, gross. Not going off to space this turn either, so I've lost my chance at the 2-0 square as well. That's a good trap and a good time. Has plenty of time to splash for influence. Okay. Out at the second attempt. Yeah. If they do take Argentina, we event Allende to begin. Going for it. Right, we will. Man, Asia's still gross, eh? Will we take Thailand? Because we've still got Junta and Allende. We need to drop Africa scoring at some point soon. We're starting to run up against it again. So if Africa doesn't dominate, we drop it immediately. Then we go Liberation Theology. Now ABM's gone, we can go for Mexico. And then we can use Andean Junta.
Oh no, I've been meaning to watch on Netflix the good one. You know the one that was Oscar nominated, Glenn Close and Jonathan, what's his name?
So your worst case scenario here is a move into Thailand or Botswana. But I will have brought it upon myself.
Yeah, it's one about the guy, it's an author, he's getting a Nobel Prize in Literature, and there's obviously all these secrets come out, and yeah, I think Glenn Close was she in this before, did she? She was nominated. I bet it's supposed to be. Yeah, supposed to be.
Still waiting on that brush war of Italy. And they're
But
still
yeah,
holding socialist governments.
She had a quick look on Netflix and we tried to come up with films that we could match food with, so we could try and plan meals around the film, like on the weekends.
Willy Willy. So 1 out, 1 in. Okay, great. Didn't go for domination. We will seize our chance to drop Africa scoring for only 2 VP.
Yeah, but we seem to have quite a lot of stuff that would involve like southern US barbecue. I don't know why. But yeah, some of it's hard to
I will not. I will not gloat. So we'll go Liberation Theology to take Mexico and threaten Panama. Then while they repair that, we'll use lone gunmen into Argentina. Event Allende. Hold Junta for shenanigans.
No, I keep meaning to watch because Netflix are really pushing it at the moment. Yeah, it's supposed to be.
We may get an unlikely control in South America if we junta into Venezuela and coup, dropping DEFCON to 2, and then realign Brazil. This is assuming I can get hold of Argentina and Chile this turn. And with they've got 4 ops to spare, I think that's not happening. Yeah. So we will do some damage in Central America first, and they can decide whether or not they repair that or not. So, after talking about how I get South America control, it now looks very likely they'll get South America control. So, whoop-de-doo. Tempo. But I had to drop Africa scoring when I did to avoid domination, because next up was Sahara States plus Cameroon to realign. So not much choice there.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Still holding socialist governments, and 3 unknown cards.
Yes. If you want, I can never remember our Netflix password, but we can give you it as long as, because we don't have like the super duper membership, so you can watch it on multiple screens, but you can't watch it at the same time. So you just have to check that we weren't watching. Mum and Dad have got it as well, so as long as they're not watching something at the same time.
So we'll see whether Chile or Panama is more attractive.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah. We did watch. What was it we watched that was surprisingly good though?
Still want to press into Iraq at some point.
And it sounds completely bonkers. It's a Norwegian film, and it's sort of one of these documentary format. And it's troll hunter, and the premise is that trolls are real and live
Alright.
in Norway, and these three young students go out to try and, well, they think it's an urban legend, so they go out to try and film it, and then they bump into this old grizzled bloke who is paid by the government to go and kill these trolls. And it's really, it's very funny actually, and it's actually very good. It's obviously not the hugest budget, and some of the special effects now are, fairly laughable. But actually, it's only very, very, fairly short for a film, but it was really good actually. It was a clever concept.
Well, okay, there we go. So was trying to line up some crazy thing in.
But yeah,
So we'll put one into Chile, and then we'll event IND.
I'm not sure how it went over.
Was obviously thinking of that Formosa shenanigan
That.
with Thailand and Japan and Formosa, but didn't quite get there.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that was a good one. There's still time.
So the smart money here plays into Peru, not Chile. Oh, Brezhnev, that's annoying.
Or just wait till next week and they'll be like, David prize. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the smart money played into Peru to set up the realignment immediately, but we'll event Junta and see if we can clean up Dodge. So Socialist Governments plus one other card. If it goes to space, it'll be one of Quagmire or Socialist Governments. Truman's back in the deck. Need to remember that. But Junta will be the headline. Duck and Cover's still out. Nuclear Sub's still out. Grain Sale's still out. Ugh. Oh, steals back the China card. Very neat. So I get Latin American death squads. So I could event it and start cooing. I think it's just headline Junta. Although if I get grain sales, I'm not happy. Romania, lads. Portuguese Empire is not great. Olympic Games, U2. Special relationship, no NATO at the moment.
Yeah, they're ahead of dice in there.
We'll go Junta.
Apparently so, yeah.
Now, if we don't get grain sales, the smart option is to hope for a high coup on Colombia and to drop South America scoring AL1 for no domination, although that offers a coup. Oh man, so gross, so very, very gross.
Yes. Yeah, I can do anything. Yeah. Yeah, quite, yes. Yes. No one is buying them at the moment, so we've got to do something with them.
Okay, so is going to get a coup with U2 incident, which undermines my juntering.
Exactly, it's got to.
Oof.
Exactly.
And I can't now drop.
Yeah.
South America scoring on AR1. So South America is toast.
Yes. Yeah, I mean the lab in Milton Keynes that is actually run by Cambridge University. It's the project that Nico's on the end for. They're basically trying to speed up clinical trials.
So things are not looking good. The scoreboard's going to start ticking over.
Normally they
Goes to Mexico. Bold.
And I think that they're turning it over to testing because again they've got the capabilities there. And at the moment, yes, people with rare diseases are staying at home rather than going out and giving blood to be tested by Cambridge academics.
So we'll see if we can create a fight over Panama before South America control. Although he'd be a mug not to use 2 ops to take Chile here. So gross. So very, very gross. I'll be spacing special relationship mostly just to try and get to space first.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
But we have to hope they're going to be led by the nose to Panama because they're holding Central America scoring.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it probably just goes to show that for at least the past 5 years, government has been paralysed by Brexit and the Tory party.
Have I missed any scoring cards?
That's when you don't have a functioning government.
Yes, your Syria's gone. Still a lot of nasty cards in the deck. Duck and cover nuclear subs, grain sales. Puppet's less of a problem. VOA obviously is. John Paul obviously is. And Truman.
Yes.
So,
yes.
we will see.
Yes.
Yeah, that's standard. And they should be using Muslim Revolution in other territories on the board because Middle East scoring's gone. But let's hope 3 go to Panama. Don't go Chile. Good.
Oh, we really don't deserve it. We do not deserve any of this help.
Lucky me. So they're holding Central America scoring like us not.
Wow. Yeah.
It's not looking so bad for you, Sunshine. Yeah. So we will gamble on going off to space first. Oh, that fails. When it's all going, it's all going.
Wow.
Then we'll independent Reds into Nicaragua and Haiti and hope
Oh God, yeah.
not to get realigned out of Cuba right now.
The email. So, but you said in a press conference last week that you were not taking part in it. So, yeah, where did this email go?
Whoa! I cannot manipulate laptops like I can the mobile version.
Yeah.
Yeah, just cashing points. Ka-ching, ka-ching.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So we will go independent Reds to Nicaragua and Haiti to protect. And obviously it's a coup target for Milops if they do go for it.
I'm sure he's very ill, and I'm sorry that he's ill. This whole Boris Johnson thing about him being in intensive care, and then they're like, oh yeah, he's sitting up and talking to the nurses. It's like, well, if he is, why the hell is he in the intensive care bed? He should be on the general ward.
So is Sadat gone? I want to try and push into Egypt.
He's back out today, but like either they are lying to people about how ill he is, which is stupid because it just destroys trust, or he doesn't actually need to be in intensive care because he's not being ventilated.
So we have to hope we can get to turn 8 in Marine Barracks to clear out Middle East. That would be quite a nice thing if we can distract from there. God, Italy, Europe scoring still hasn't been out and Brush War still hasn't been out, has it? I could still really do with that myself.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
But there's more than twice as many US cards left as USSR. And with the scoreline the way it is, I'm in serious trouble. At the moment, we're looking for a DEFCON win for USSR. Because if Europe does drop this way, USA will be up to about plus 12 and cruising to War Games or final. Not good.
Jeez. Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Yes.
Wow, Fruitstrike is cogitating.
Well, I mean, clearly his son didn't understand it. The whole shaking hands all the time. Yes. Did he not say he went to the hospital with coronavirus and shook hands with everyone?
5 cards in hand.
Yeah. Exactly.
We only have to hope they're Summit, Asia scoring, one small step.
So yeah, I'm sure he has been very ill. But
South Africa unrest.
yes, I just got the impression that they were like, just put him in intensive care because
Tapping Panama's not up to much because obviously Panama Canal Returned is still in the deck.
We just get him in there and he can't give interviews, so we'll just put him in intensive care and he won't be able to bother anyone.
17 in the draw, so 12 cards. Oh.
Oh God, yes. The man looks like a
17,
serial killer.
4,
He really
5,
does.
7, 8, 4, 10,
Yeah.
14, 18,
Well,
22.
see, again, I think it's interesting. They haven't let pretty smile out
17.
so
Yeah.
weeks.
Okay. I haven't lost any.
She's definitely.
Oh, there it is. It was only a matter of time.
Oh God. Well,
And now I'm cleared out of that bit of the Middle East. Fantastic. Alright, so we tap South Korea for access to Taiwan as much as anything else.
So now, well, yeah.
Oh no, wait, we can put pressure on in Egypt as well. So we'll use Romanian abdication to go 1 into Israel to threaten Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that could have gone a lot worse, I guess. It's still not great.
Oh, was that what's his face? Francois, the one with the really
So
European
we'll be looking to tap South Korea to get access to Taiwan. But now we're still not going to get dominated in Asia, but we will now likely not dominate, which is a bit of a kick in the teeth.
Yeah, it's terrifying, really terrifying. But they just look so out of their depth when you see them on the television. They just.
And the reshuffle's coming up. What is it? 17 cards left because of the passing back of the China card and Salt. We might get a turn 8 reshuffle.
Not being able to understand, space.
Just run the numbers.
Always joking.
Assuming Fruitstrike doesn't use the China card.
No, people's spatial
Yeah,
awareness is
there won't be a
bizarre.
reshuffle.
That's the man trying to shove the trolley and genuinely thinks they're the same size.
Which with Duck and Cover, Nuclear Subs, Grain Sales, John Paul, Amit, Brush War, Europe Scoring, all still to come out.
Chatting and yes, if I see anything.
Okay,
Definitely. And,
so we will just tap for Dom, and then tap again for Dom, and then tap again for Dom, and hope against hope that there's going to be Asia scoring this turn. We can keep tapping. We've got that ability all the way through. And we've got no coup target for the Millops.
We'll give my left to Charlie, and I hope she survived Waitrose okay. Good. Okay.
So it need to be 2 ops here, 1 into Philippines, 1 into Korea to go up to the same number of territories. So another tap will work.
Well, there you go. Just think you can get 3 for the same price.
So AR7, we tap South Korea again. Oh no, we no longer get domination. Okay, so we take Egypt instead. And Asia drops for 1. At least Nuclear Subs is gone. But there's going to be no turn 7 reshuffle.
Yes. Yes.
And there is going to be no way to deal with Europe scoring because I didn't get bloody Brush War.
Okay.
So we'll quag him to tap Italy to drop Europe scoring.
Yeah. Okay, well, speak soon. Bye.
Oh man, so gross. One small step will hold in case we get it away. John Paul, nasty. Amit we used before the reshuffle, obviously. Nixon. And Europe scoring. Oh, not Brush War. Not that one. We've dropped Quagmire, 8 cards. What have I forgotten? Europe once more, emit. John Paul? No, duck and cover. So, there are 2 cards left in the draw pile. Fruitstrike has Socialist Governments Plus, all but one of Purge, Nuclear Test Ban, Brush War. Ha! Central America scoring, Cultural Revolution, Arab-Israeli War, South African unrest, grain sales. Ugh. Panama, fine. So we go duck and cover, and then we'll use the China card to move Italy and Portugal and hope Brush War whiffs. So it looks like grain sales is one of the 2 cards in the not pile, I guess. SocGov finally drops. It'll be back before the reshuffle at least. So we have to use the China card because Brush War can't 1 in 3 it, if indeed. So what'll happen now is Fruitstrike will have Brush War, we'll event Brush War, we'll succeed with Brush War, and I've used the China card for nothing. I mean, it has to use Brush War if it has it, because Fruitstrike knows I'm very likely to hold Europe scoring. So let's have a 50-50 swing and a miss, please, play deck. Oh, okay, well, that could be worse. So we drop Europe scoring immediately for 1, before Brush War potentially destabilizes things. That may have been unnecessarily risk-averse, but at this point in the game, we'll be trading on DEFCON, not VP anyway. We do need to get into Taiwan to press for Asia domination again. And we want to get off space first, that's John Paul. We can use emit to break Lebanon and stop it triggering. There's a lot we want to do again. Let's start with emit, because that's a card we don't really want to trigger. Although Lone Gunman's still in the discard pile, right? Because there's not been a reshuffle. Although emit triggers the reshuffle. Let's go to space first, because they're now going to drop Central America scoring. Then we'll use emit on Lebanon. Greedy. Trying to go for the Grand Slam. So we're hoping for a weak coup on Nicaragua. Based on the way play has gone so far, it's almost like Grain Sales and Brush War are the likely cards. We do want to get Nixon off for the VP before Cultural Revolution comes out as well. Because what we don't want to do is pass it back. Although we can always hold in space next turn, if it comes to that. Still need to get to Taiwan first to maintain domination in Asia. Africa's a nightmare, South America's a nightmare, Central America's a nightmare, Europe is now less of a nightmare, but still a nightmare. So I'm not going to win this by VP. It looks like we're going to have to go DEFCON. I'm not even going to win with Ortega, so it has to be Lee. And snagging the China card. Gross, 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 gross. Libya? Nice. What do we think? Let's pop 2 in Libya. As long as he's not targeting that last coup in Nicaragua, we can keep shoring up around the board. Spacing South African unrest, which, given the fact that Angola's the way it is interesting. We are going to use Truman Doctrine in Libya. So grain sales, brush war, Central America scoring, red scare and culture revolution still unaccounted for. Although that's 4 cards, so have I missed one? I don't think I have. I'm just not very good at counting. It always breaks down in the end. So we're going to give up the mill ops, and R7 we're going to overprotect Italy and put 1 in Lebanon in the hopes of getting Middle East scoring. Oh, well, here it comes. Italy's the obvious choice. It misses. Hurrah. So we not only re-add the discards, but we also add late war. I do pick up Aldrich Ames, which is pretty big. But I think they get Red Scare, Culture Revolution, Grain Sales, and Central America scoring. Not that I've been paying attention properly, because why on earth would I do that? And I've got a fistful of American cards, but I've got Aldrich and Terrorism, which pretty much has to be my route to victory here. Aldrich pulls something in coup. Right? It's the only way. Oh, what else do I have in my hand there? Star Wars, one small step. Or at least Star Wars won't go off. Ortega. And I didn't pick. I need to pick up tennis wall. Terrorism. So grain sales is likely. We'll go Aldrich, and then we'll go terrorism if they've got lone gunmen. Ah, interesting. Wants a VP. So has got war games. So we now hold terrorism. So we want to hold terrorism. Good old Thatcher the Betrayer, I reckon. Let's quickly plug in the hand. Cult Rev, Yuri, Pershing. War Games is discarded, and Salt's gone. Laduk. Glasnost, War Games, the Reformer. So they will use Glasnost as a 2VP ABM. Marine Barracks bombing is very bad for them. Alright. So we are going to start with Thatcher the Betrayer, with no socialist governments in sight. And we will coup in Zaire. And that's pretty rubbish. And now we're going to seize the opportunity to push into Argentina if it doesn't immediately do something about that. Any war cards? No war cards. We're going to have to give an Evil Empire up as well. Spacing tear down this wall, obviously, and hold terrorism for the next turn. We'll hope to snare them in DEFCON. Still going to lose this in final, but at least we've dodged War Games. Extended viewing for your eyeballs. So if we stand a hope in hell of winning, we need to take Turkey, keep Italy up, move into Taiwan to dominate Asia, maintain domination in the Middle East, deny domination in South America. That's a lot to do, wouldn't you say? The upshot is that either the China card's going to have to be handed over anyway, for then Cultural Revolution to be invented, because they won't want to invent the Reformer. The Reformer is like the must not play this turn card. Having to play the China card does mean taking Taiwan as soon as possible is the imperative. And then the only country that flips with the China card is Burma. But anyway, we space tear down this wall this turn. I'm not sure what on earth happened to grain sales. Oh well. So, Fruitstrike is milking that clock. Here comes the China card. Okay. So we'll take Lebanon, and we'll pop 2 into Taiwan to start. Pushing for Dom there. I mean, I'm being flippant. Now I've got the China card back and I hold terrorism. I have a fighting chance of being lucky and snaring lone gunmen. But it's a low probability. 3 into Taiwan? Yeah. Okay, so we will keep putting on pressure there as much as anything, because they're now running into trouble. The Reformer, Marine Barracks, Laduk, Pershing, Uri. Oh yeah, can at least LADC away the Reformer. Who's Zaire? Fine. We'll take Taiwan for Dom. We'll trade regions. We're still up against it, but space tear down this wall and try and do something in other places. 2 into Turkey, overprotect Italy. Try and avoid John Paul. But DEFCON's still the way to win. Marine Barracks. So we'll be discarding Latin America. Reformer to Latin America, almost certainly. Repair Israel moving to Jordan. Oh no, okay, going for control. So we will take Turkey. Let's talk Turkey. Has a problem with Pershing as well, because obviously Italy can run aground there. So which one are you chucking to Ladakh? The Reformer. Fine. Be spacing Pershing then, to avoid domination in Europe. So we need to deny Africa control, deny South America control, gain Europe domination. There is absolutely no way on this green earth that we're going to win in final scoring. At least I get to peak. Yuri to finish. Tapping Taiwan to avoid Asia domination, potentially. Ah, sass. Okay, so let's not get Delta Lone Gunman, please. We at least don't get Delta Lone Gunman. So Iran-Contra followed by double terrorism. Ah, get to see headline. I have no way to drop DEFCON, so if he does put Lone Gunman on the stack, I'm doomed. So let's see. North Sea Oils, the space card this turn, I reckon. And we want to get a coup off in Nigeria and or South America. So many bloody coups to have. Oh yeah, now the reshuffle's happened because they added late war cards in. So all late war cards are in play. That's interesting. Let's see what headline we get. We really don't want to see lone gunmen. Grain. So we want a terrorism now, because if they pulled terrorism, I'd be sunk. Yeah? Yeah. So you can coup with it, but it's not going to trigger. And now we can play North Sea because they won't get an AR8. Although we do it as late as possible in the turn so that they don't know about OPEC triggering. The coup fails as well. Oh, come on! Well, had a 1 in 8 chance of that happening. So 7 times out of 8 I win the sodding game. Well, there you go. How am I going to win this in final is the new question. Let's start by pressing for domination in Europe. Okay, well now you're going to have to watch us play all the way to bloody final scoring. Sorry about that. We could have ended it this turn 87.5% of the time. Okay, so where am I going to cause the most trouble quickly? NATO is now academic because they're going to be mining Europe anyway. I can let them know about North Sea oil if I need to. Okay, I'm toast. That's a bummer. So we will tap again. Here with Korkmar gone as well, I am literally out of options. Oh, perfect. Should have held it for later in the game. Just need Africa scoring here to finish the game off. Well. Oh, a billion ops. Yeah, here we go. So we end up giving up Europe domination for not much hope of flipping South America. We'll race through turn 10, but I think we all know where this game was won and lost. I got lucky to beat War Games, so let's not be all sour grapes about it. Right, so we will pull 2 out of Israel and 2 out of the UK because of the special relationship factor. All 3 into Italy? No, okay, recovery, fine. So we will finish taking Brazil and overprotect against it. And then AR7 we event Korean War to get our Milops. But Europe is now toast. Fine. It's all much for muchness now anyway. That whiffs as well, because, why not? Okay, well, at least we're going to make it to turn 10 AR7, unless Africa scoring comes, which it might. So, a nice socialist government's headline wouldn't hurt here. Oh, I get war games, that's great. And South America scoring. So at least I can ABM treaty and coup. ABM treaty coup South America to level it up. Let's instead retake Italy. Because with DEFCON at 4, they can't drop DEFCON to 2 before I take Italy. If only I had Middle East scoring, I could have gone Asia scoring, Middle East scoring, hope to get close with war games, which would be insane, but is virtually a lock not to happen. Can have a go. Misses. Have another go. Or if you've got Africa scoring, you win anyway. Going big. Going big on the Middle East. That does suggest Middle East scoring. So we'll reclaim domination there. AR7, we've got to tap Algeria, I guess. Liberation theology is not going to do enough to do enough. So if Fruitstrike plays into Jordan, I play into Saudi. But really it's just keeping count here. The game's over. And I have definitely lost. Well, that's a bonus for me. Yeah, so now I may regret dropping war games if it goes specifically Middle East, Europe, Asia. Right, I've not got war games, so let's just drop that. With turn 10 AR7, I'm toast. Asia, space us not for the 3VP. Event Pershing to guarantee domination in Europe is my best bet. Well, I suppose tapping Algeria is better than the 50-50 on. Going after it. And again. Oh, F it. Have us not. Ditches blockade, whatever. Okay. That's nice to know. And the game is over. Depending on turn 10 AR7, I might be able to keep it below 20 US, but it's unlikely. Aha! Well, there you go, 21, thanks to a judicious Voice of America. Well, that was fun. Avoided war games, then lost Lone Gunman, and ended up losing on the tracker. Alright, thanks for watching. Feedback welcome.